What's going on YouTube? This is ParkerLad88 coming at you with another video. Today, I'm going to do my Evol deck profile. This is a fun little control deck that I kind of had an on and off relationship with well, pretty much ever since I started playing with it. But I've added some new tech to the deck and I'm ready to pick it up again, and it's actually been a lot of fun in all my testing on DevPro. So, without further ado, this is my Evol deck profile. So to start things off, we have the Evol. First up, we have 3 copies of Evol Westlow. Westlow is one of the main monsters of this deck. It's where a lot of your bread and butter combos stem from. On flip, you get to special summon one Evolzar monster from your deck, and usually leads into a lot of your one-turn Evolzar plays. Next up, we have 3 copies of Evol Najasho. Najasho is one of the main combo pieces of the deck, where a lot of your wombo combos stem from. Basically, whenever it is tributed in any way, shape, or form, you get to special summon an Evolzar monster from your deck. You usually want to combo this with Evil Force in order to maximize its plays. And then we have 1 copy of Evol Lagasucho. Lagasucho, when it is summoned, it gets to foolish one of your Evolzar monsters, and then on flip, it allows you to special summon an Evol from your deck, so you can go for your Najasho and do combos with that, but it's mostly used for setting up your Evo Singularity plays. It allows you to dump one Evolzar in your graveyard, so whenever this dies, or whenever you tribute it off, you have a Evo Singularity 5 already. So that does it for the Evol. Next up we have the Evolsaurs. We have 3 copies of Serato. Serato is the big beater of the deck. Whenever it's special summoned by the effect of an Evol, it gains an extra 200, putting it at a whopping 21, which is pretty good for a 4-star level monster. Then whenever it runs over something, you can add an Evol from your deck to your hand. So I like running this at 3 as opposed to running it at 2, just because I just like the extra beating power that this guy offers. So. Next up we have 2 copies of Diplo. Whenever it's special summoned by the effect of an Evol monster, you can pop one of your opponent's spell or traps. I like this guy just because he's spot removal, and Lord knows I hate me some back row, so 2 of this guy. And then next up we have 2 Volcano. Volcano is the main Evolzar monster in this deck. Whenever it's special summoned by the effect of an Evol monster, it allows you to pull one of your Evolzar monsters from your graveyard and put it on the field, but it cannot attack. This is where a lot of your one-turn Evolzar plays come from this guy. But yeah, I'm only running him at 2. I could run him at 3, but just because he's so small that if I actually get him in my hand, he's kind of worthless to me, so 2 works out pretty well for me. And then next up we have Evolzar Ilias, the level 6 monster that states when special summoned by effect of an Evol monster, I can special summon one level 6 or lower fire dinosaur from my hand. So a lot of people don't like running this guy because they consider it because he's a dead draw, and sometimes he can be if you draw in the multiples, but this rarely ever happens to me, and I like having just the extra exceed options that come with running 2 6s. Plus that empty defense can be pretty handy sometimes, and you can do other things like tribute summon him to activate your Najasho if you're in tight spots. So a lot of good plays actually come from him, so I wouldn't sleep on this card. And then we have 1 copy of Blaster. Blaster, I mostly just like using him for spot removal, and it gives Evols a little extra OTK power. So that does it for all of the monsters. Next up we have spell cards. We have another one of the main cards in the deck. We have 3 copies of Evil Force. Evil Force basically says you tribute an Evol monster to special summon an Evolzar from your deck. It's basically Najasho in spell card form. And then that the tribute is treated as if it was special summoned by, or excuse me, the special summon is treated as if the Evolzar you bring out is special summoned by the effect of an Evol monster. So you tribute this with Najasho, and you basically get 2 Evolzars off of it. It's pretty good. Next up, we have the Searcher for the deck. We have 3 copies of Evo Diversity, lets you get whatever Evotils or Evolzars you may need. Then we've got 2 copies of Duality, just for extra consistency. This is in the deck that off the rip special summons a lot, so it's nice to have the extra added search option, I think. Yeah, and then we have 2 copies of MSP, just for back row purposes. Then moving into 1-of, we have 1 copy of Enemy Controller. I don't like running Enemy Controller at 2 just because if I don't get Najacho, I can't really do much with it, but I think just one is fine. It allows me to push my opponent's monster to defense if I need to, or you can do some fun plays where you take their monster, get an Evil Star from it, and then you can go into like any of your other generic rank 4s, usually like King of the Feral Imp to get an extra surge on the board. Then we have one Book of Moon. Combo is really great with Westlow, so you can get multiple special summons out of it. It also is really good at disrupting plays. Then we have one copy of Foolish Burial, lets me throw Evil Stars or Blaster into the graveyard for OTKs, or to set up my Najacho plays, Westlow plays, you know, just anything, so when Volcano comes out I can get that instant speed. And then the last spell we have is One Pot Dichotomy. As soon as you go for that Evolzar play, this becomes automatically live, and this isn't a deck that needs to always go in all the time. It's a very control-y defensive, so having one of these to recycle some of those Volcanos, or if you're running low on Exceeds, back into your deck is always nice. And then that does it for all the spells. So, moving into trap cards, we have one of the best cards to come out of Primal Origin, Evo Singularity. This is basically new Rescue Rabbit for this deck. What happens is whenever you have an Evolzar and an Evil in your graveyard, you target one of each of those, and then you can special summon one Evolzar, any of the Evolzar monsters, Lakia, Dolka, or Soldo. Excuse me. Whew. And then you special summon the Evolzar monster, and then you put the other two under it as Exceed material. Great one-turn Exceed play, and it really helps you maintain the control. And then one of my personal favorite techs, 2 copies of Ghost Trick Scare. So you might be wondering to yourself, why on earth am I running this card? I don't run Ghost Trick, so why am I running this? Well, basically what it says is I can target any number of face-down defense position monsters, and then I can change their I can change them to face-up defense positions. Then I target an equal number of my opponent's cards equal to the number of Ghost Tricks and put them face down. But once again, I have no Ghost Tricks, so what's the point? Westlow, of course, is a flip effects monster, or just on flip period, it allows me to get a Evolzar from the deck. So this basically helps me, it basically turns Westlow into a spell V2, as opposed to just, you know, having it sit there waiting for next turn or waiting for your opponent to attack into it. Because what a lot of good players will do is once they know that you're playing Evols, because you might search something, or if you go into Wildly, they might see one of your cards, they're going to try and do everything you can in order to play around Westlow. This basically prevents that. It allows you to blow up stuff during your opponent's turn, and it allows you to go ahead and activate Westlow's effect so you can go for your big basic bread and butter combo plays before they have a chance to activate those traps. And then by that time, the Evolzars come out to play. So it's a really great card, at least in this deck, I think. You should give it a try. Next up, we have 2 copies of Breakthrough Skill, because Dolka is everywhere. Then we have the main summoning current, Bottomless Song, and then Compulse, of course. So that gives me about a 41 card deck. Next up, we have the extra deck. We're going to start with one of my favorites, which is 2 copies of Evolzar Soldo. So a lot of builds only run 1 just to cater to the Evo Singularity, but once again, because I'm running 6s, I can run 2 of this. Basically what he does is whenever your opponent wants special summon a monster, you can detach one to destroy said monster. Also, as long as this guy has Exceed material, he cannot be destroyed by card effects. So no Dark Holes, no Raigekis, no anything that would destroy by card effects, basically. He's also a lot more relevant now because Pendulums are a thing. Since Pendulums count as one giant summon, he just wipes the field of all of them, so it's really great. And the 2600 attack points doesn't hurt me. Next up, we have 3 copies of Lakia. You might think this is overkill, but I like it. Basically a 2400 body that can basically solemn anything, that can't be bad. Then we've got 2 copies of Dolka. Dolka's really great against a lot of decks out there. Right now, it completely craps all over Burning Abyss, Tellar Knights. Burning Abyss as well, which are a lot of the main ones out there. So he's really, really great. And then for other things, we have 1 copy of KZ Apple Price. Once again, I got 6s, and this is a 6 that is really good for me. You can detach one in order to banish a monster, one of your opponent's monsters on the field, or in the graveyard, so graveyard manipulation, that's always very nice. So it's really good at getting around problem monsters that I can't simply run over, that my Evolzars can't handle. So 1 copy of him is really good. Then we've got the staples of 101, Castile, Got Cowboy, Exciton Knight, number 80, King of Feral Imps, extra surge power, combos really well whenever you go enemy controller for Najasho. You can just go for this as a generic guy, and then you get an extra surge on it. So it's like a +2 or something along those lines. And then, of course, we have one Brother Fist of the Fire Herd, Emperor Lion. So there are some situations where I'll have 2 Eva tiles on the field that are 3s, and I like going into this guy because he lets me Warrior Returning Alive my Westlows, and I can just reset those Westlows. Because he says I can't summon or normal summon the monster gets back, doesn't say anything about not setting. Plus the 2200 attack points is nice. So there you have it, guys. This was the Evil Czar, Eva tile, and Evil Czar deck profile. Let me know what you guys think, and I will be back at you later for future videos. This is Parker Lad, out.